Hey guys, welcome. Catching my breath here. I'm out in the bush. So beautiful out here this evening. I want to make this video to help Western women. If you're involved with African men, I want to kind of pass along what I've seen here in Africa. I've been here for 5 years in East Africa. Just want to kind of give you an idea of what you might be dealing with. Guys, I'm out here in the bush here in East Africa. I'm taking my dogs on an evening walk. So enjoy the scenery as I chat with you. Now, I was talking to a group of girls the other day, and they told me they were looking for a Muzungu boyfriend. I get that a lot. I get that a lot. They're like, hey, Ryan, if you're not available, can you introduce us to your Muzungu friends back in your country? And I asked them, what's wrong with African men? And they said, African men lie. Okay? So I'm not going to take that at face value. So about a week later, I was talking to some African guys, and I said, by the way, do you know what African women say about you? And they're like, what do African women say about us? And I said, African women tell me that you African guys, that you lie. And these guys all laughed, and they're like, no, we don't lie. It's the African women that lie. They're the ones that lie. So who do I believe? I believe the women. I believe that it's the African men that lie. No, I'm not a white knight. I'm not like dissing you African guys out there. I love a lot of things you guys do and the way you operate. But why do I believe the women? I believe them because us as men, we are leaders in this society. We're leaders of the women. We're leaders of the children. So if we see women and children exhibiting certain behaviors, it's because we as men have taught them those behaviors. Now, what I see a lot of here in East Africa, and yes, I can only speak for East Africa. We got to remember that Africa is huge, and there's other countries and cultures. But in media, on YouTube, for example, I've heard these stories about Egypt. I've heard these stories about Morocco. I've heard these stories about the Gambia. What I've seen here in East Africa. Hello. Wasibiocha. Yeah. Jebaliko Sevo. Talking to a goat herder right now. Sorry about that. But very nice of him to greet me. Let's go talk to the goat herder. No, I don't want to put the camera on him and make him feel uncomfortable speaking English. What I've heard from my African women friends here, I've heard this story so much, it's just like, that's the way it is here. Oh, by the way, rarely meet happily married women here. Now, once in a while, I hear stories of I'll meet somebody and they'll tell me that their parents have been married for 30 years and they're in love. I hear that once in a while. It's not the norm, though. And story I hear the most is that dad just disappears, or the husband just disappears, and like he's gone for like months without no contact. Now sometimes the wife figures out that he has a secret wife, like in another city. He has another wife, another family, children with that wife, and he doesn't even tell her. Sometimes she finds out. Sometimes she never knows. One of my closest friends, she said, oh, I haven't, you know, my husband, he comes to see me once a year. I live on his land with his in-laws. But I don't know if he's married to another woman or has another family. I mean, obviously he does. Obviously he does, but he just doesn't talk about it. So that seems to be the norm here. Hey, look guys, especially you African guys who might be watching this, I have nothing against polygamy. In fact, if I could do it in a way where I didn't have to deceive anybody or hurt anybody, I would. Like if it worked out, if I just happened to meet two women, we fell in love at the same time, and they could get along, that's the big if. If they could get along and all three of us could coexist peacefully, I'd be open to the experience. So African men, they can be very friendly, very nice, very flirtatious, charming, that's the best word. They can be very charming, even as guy friends, even as I make guy friends here in East Africa. They're always very charming in the beginning. That's, yeah, I think I nailed it there. Charming is the best word. Look out for a charming guy. Okay, that's on the surface, but that's how they get you. That's how they suck you in. That's how they suck the women in. Now, this is something I've just realized about African culture, East African culture, is lying is normal here. It's not really like shamed. It's just a part of the culture. It's hard to explain, but when people are caught in a lie, they just tell another lie. I've seen people tell lies that make no fucking sense, and it's obvious it's a lie, and they stick to it. You know, it's just like they'll stick to their lies so hard in order to try to convince you that that's reality. I've seen that with men, with women here. Yeah, and you know, we don't have time to put up with that bullshit. I would never meet an African man if I was a woman, a Western woman. I would never come here and meet an African man, be swept off my feet in a couple of weeks, and then go back to my country and start a long-distance relationship with him or process a visa. I would never do that. No, you need to come here. You can meet your guy that you love, that you like, that charms you, but then live with that motherfucker for a year and see if he doesn't crack. See if he doesn't sneak out for a couple weeks. You know? If you just feel at all that his communication is not honest, if you have any suspicion that he's hiding something, it's done. The relationship is over. I mean, if you start feeling like you need to investigate his phone and have somebody follow him, you know, it's more than likely done. And if that's happened to you, or if it's happening to you, I'm sorry. But I don't want to put all African men in the same category. I've met a lot of women here. I've had a lot of friends here who have suffered. Even African men suffer from this behavior because they grow up without fathers in the home. You know, so young children, they suffer from this. Again, I have nothing against polygamy as long as you're honest and everybody knows what's going on, but that's, you know, that's not how it works here. Maybe in 50% of the cases, the woman is, you know, with Muslims, for example, they kind of know what they're getting into, and they understand that the man is polygamous and there's other wives, and they know the other wives. But then there's guys who are not Muslim, and if they're not Muslim, they usually say that they're Christian. And those are the guys that are doing, you know, being really secretive and hiding, like they're going to have secret wives, secret families, and then they also have mistresses. And hey, nothing against you guys. It's the nature of men. I don't believe we're monogamous at all. I think monogamy is completely, you know, that's a man-made concept. But by nature, no, we're not monogamous. But you know, it's just best if you're honest and you don't deceive people. And you know, I know it's tough because women. Basically, here's the thing. Men don't have the backbone to be honest with women because they want the sex so bad that for them the only way they can get sex is to lie. Yeah, to lie and be deceitful. So that's it. That's my observations from living here in Africa for 5 years. And that's some advice for you Western women if you're going to get involved with an African man.